What's up, guys? All right. I want to do a sound check. I don't know if I got sound out there or not. So if somebody give me a sound check, I'd appreciate that. Uh, should be good, but I'm not sure. So let me know how you were. We're good? All right. Okay. I wasn't sure. My software here is kind of jacked up tonight and saying I have 0 viewers.
Getting lots of vibes.
I'd like to think I got more than that, but we're going to go on like there's 1,000 people here. It's that simple. But let's see. First thing we got to do is see who's in the house. Just like standing in formation back in the day, we got to have a roll call. Glenn Anderson was first. There we go. Thank you for being here. Tammy Joe. John H. We got Arkansas in the house. Got to watch my language. And I'm going to get on a story here in just a few minutes. It's going to upset me, guys. Tell you right now, I'm going to get upset. I might say something I shouldn't, but it's got to be said. I'm telling you. Lori is with us. All right, she got to stay up. I got word that you're going to do a corn dog casserole tomorrow night. I'm going to watch that because that sounds mighty good. If y'all ain't watching her channel, you need to go over there and do it. She's getting back in the kitchen. She's putting them recipes out there, and that woman can cook. That's all there is to it. Michelle J is with us up in Tennessee. Are you snowed in? I know it's cold up there. It's getting cool here, so I know it's cold up there. Who else we got here? Debbie Jones is with us. We got to get to the gun range, girl. I keep telling you, we got to get that shotgun out there. Got to get it out there. Who else? Buzz is with us. My man right there. Yeah, it's getting cool too, Buzz. I know you're north of me, so it's a little cooler up there than it is here, actually. Supposed to get down in the 30s. When is that? Tomorrow night? It's getting down in the 30s, babe?
I think so, yep. 38.
38? Well, hey, it's the 30s.
Yep.
You know, to us, that's like the teens.
We're not getting any sympathy out of Iowa or Tennessee tonight, so don't even look for it.
That's like the teens to those people. So.
Michelle snowed in. Kathy snowed in.
Mick L's with us. All right, my man. Did you go to the gun show? I know you said you were going. There's a new gun show coming to Orlando about every 3 or 4 months now. And I'm going to it instead of the Shoot Straight gun show. I don't know if you know it or not, but anybody that sells at the gun show at the fairgrounds cannot undersell Shoot Straight. That's in their contract. Because Shoot Straight owns the rights to that show, and they're not going to let anybody come in there and undersell them. They have to actually sign a contract saying they won't sell a weapon for less than what Shoot Straight would sell it for. So you can't really get any good deals. But this new gun show that's coming to town, it's not this weekend. I think it's next weekend. I'll let you know for sure next week. But I've been going to that one. It's just small independent dealers. You can find better deals, and that's where I've been going. So let's get on with it here. Glenn Anderson from Texas. All right. I know you guys are going to get cold tonight. And probably going to stay that way for a little while. Who else we got down here? Let me scroll on down here. If I miss you, I apologize. Looks like you guys were in here talking long before I got here. I was setting things up, and then I had to go refresh my apple juice. This one's for you guys. Love you all. Thank you for being here. Looks like my man Off the Wall is with us. I missed you this morning. I've been watching your early morning reports while I have coffee, but I missed you this morning. So if you hadn't checked his channel out, you need to go over there and check that out too, folks. He's on top of a lot of this stuff, and I appreciate it. Son's back with us. All right. It has been a while. I'm glad you came back to see us. Really am. Scroll on down here a little bit. Let's see if we got anybody else in the house. Patty's back. That's my girl right there. Of course, Lynn is with us. There we go. That's one of my cheerleaders. Appreciate it. I truly do. Greg Harmon is with us. Wants to say good evening to everybody. There's the Iowa crowd. I know you guys are snowed in, and it's getting cold. So just cuddle up there, stay warm, and make sure that you got everything you need. Metal's back, my man, right there. All right. Jenny's with us. I think it's been a couple of weeks since you've been here, but I might have just missed you. I don't know, but thank you for being here tonight. Oh, who else we got down here? We got anybody? There's Fluffy. There's my girl.
Craig.
She's up in Ohio. I know. Yeah, I think you guys were actually warmer than people in Tennessee today, from what I understand. But you need to get ready.
She said they're getting 4 to 6 inches of snow tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. You can have that snow, girl. That's why I moved to Florida.
Greg and Ralph are here.
4th and goal. Yeah, my man right there. One of the last things I did on the department back in the day, before I moved to Florida, we had a big traffic jam on I-65 where they had construction going on. And these 3 truckers tried to run through a narrow part of the road, and they just kind of slammed into each other. Looked like they were trying to jam a square peg into a round hole, and it just stopped up everything. It was 17 degrees. It was spitting snow and rain, and I got covered with ice. And I remember thinking, I will never do this again when I leave here. And I haven't. Short-lived saints with us in the house. Wanda's back. Good. All right. The man right there, he lives it, guys. Yeah, radio check. Go for it. Swackhammer's back with us. Who else we got down here? There's Craig. We're going to talk about him in just a minute. He did a demonstration at one of our prepper meetings that it stunned me. I couldn't believe how well it worked out, but we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. Of course, Wanda wants to say hello to Tammy Joe and everybody else here, I'm sure. D.O. is in the house. Man, we got a good crowd tonight. Patriot Ordinance. There we go. Yeah, we're going to talk about that right there, too, in just a minute. Let me come on down here. All American Preppers with us. My man right there over near Tampa. How you been doing, buddy? I hadn't seen any videos from you. So hopefully you're doing okay. Go over and check his channel out too, folks. He's got a good one going over there. And the man is impressive. What we got here? Atwood Threads. All right. Thank you for being here. I think that's a new one. But that's I appreciate every one of you being here, like I said. Looks like we've got a good crowd. Hopefully we can entertain you a little bit and, bring you some information. I got some emergency comms coming up in the last half of the show. I think the way things are going, it's time to really get serious about them preps, guys. And I think emergency comms is one of the top 5. But we'll get into that here in just a few minutes. Can you post the channels? If you guys are out there, put your channel in the comments. Put YouTube channels in the comments there so people can click on them. I don't mind one bit you doing that, so do that, and let's get you some viewers over there. But I'm going to start off with this one right here. This is absolutely mind-boggling. Not because it's happened, but because the military can't figure out why it's happening. They're getting less and less white recruits. The numbers dropped. It's just basically bottomed out. And those geniuses in the Pentagon can't figure out why. Duh. Just in case, I know somebody's watching. I know that. Because of the way, this channel's being restricted. But I'm going to tell you something, folks. You're not going to get any white recruits. As long as you're bringing them in there and you're making them sit in class for 40 hours, talking about how, white people are the devil. They're destroying the world. They're born as racist. They're oppressive, just by who they are. They're not going to sit there and listen to you. See, here we go. I'm about to get off here, see. I might say something I shouldn't, but they're not going to come listen to your damn garbage. It's that simple. The military right now is getting pretty damn close to where the German army was back in the 1930s. But instead of, oppressing the Jews, they're oppressing white people. And they think white people is going to join the military and listen to that shit. No, ain't going to happen. You think white people, it's sad that they have turned this into a race thing. When, the military is about people that want to stand up and protect this country and not protect certain races. But that's why their recruiting has gone to hell, and it's going to stay that way until they get off of that crap. Now I better leave that right there. I'm about to really just tear off on one here, and so I've said enough. But when the NSA, they monitor this video, go ahead and send that over to them boys over at the Pentagon and let them know what I think about it and how I explained it, just in case they don't understand. Let me put it that way. You can't expect somebody to come and support you when you treat them like shit. All right, that's it. I got to get out of here. Let me go on to the next one.
Let me ask you a question quick.
All right.
Lynn Anderson said that you can't post a link in the chat unless you're a moderator, and you're the only moderator, right?
Oh, shoot.
How does that work? So I'm asking them to email their things to you?
Yeah. Okay. Lady Prepper speaking for me, guys, in those comments, because once I get on a roll here, I can't look over there and always see what's going on. I tell you what, if you want to be a moderator, shoot me an email. You see the email address right there below my name, right there. theorlandoprepper@gmail.com. I will be glad to make you a moderator so you can post your channel here, especially Off the Wall, All American, Lori. You know who you guys are. I promote you here. Every time I say, what's going on with your channel, shoot me an email. I got to have your email address to do that. I was actually going to make Glenn Anderson a moderator, and I went over to search YouTube for his name, and they didn't have that name in their database. So I need your email address so I can make you a moderator. So let's get that going. Please do that. I want you guys to be able to post here every week and promote your channel. Yeah, I do. And hopefully you'll return the favor. I'd like to be able to do that on your channel too. So, but hey, that's up to you. But I don't mind promoting yours because I think we should all help people. That's all we should do. Click the button. I'll be honored to moderate. Yep. All right. Just send me that email address, guys. Shoot me an email with your email. It has your email address in it. I'll be glad to do it for you. Let me move on here. Here's another one I couldn't believe. This is beyond stupid. Well, you got something?
I just have a moderator question.
All right.
Lori said, feel free to make me a moderator. Just click on the dots next to her name. When I click on it, it just gives me two choices, report and block. If you click on the little three dots next to a chat name, does it give you a button to make them a moderator? Actually,
let me see here. Put user in timeout and ban user is the only thing I have.
Okay, so that's not working for me either. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
So shoot me that email, guys, with your email address so I can do that for you.
All right.
But let's move on to this next one here. The FAA is going to hire people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities to be traffic controllers. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm on an airliner, I don't want a psychotic person in control of that aircraft. Now, a lot of people don't know this.
This has to be said.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see what he got here. I just did that, buddy. Yeah, I just did that. All I'm getting over there, like on you right now, all it says is put the user in timeout or ban the user and delete their content. That's the only options I have. So shoot me that email, guys. But back to this story here. If some psychotic person is controlling the aircraft you're on, and when an airplane comes into land, it's totally computerized. The pilot's not doing that. People don't realize that. It's totally computerized. So if some psychotic dumbass has control of that aircraft, he can crash it, sitting behind his console. A lot of folks don't understand that, but that's the truth. Now, the pilot can override that. But, what happens if it's too late? If they set the ground elevation at, it's supposed to be 0, say that nut job in the tower moves that to -3, just 3 feet, that's all, or 1 meter, however they do it there, then that airplane will crash, and the pilot might not know it because it looks good coming in. It's just going to come in a little bit too hot for that -1 meter landing, and everything's going to. So I don't want no psychopaths controlling my airplane. Totally up to you if you want to accept that or not, but ain't happening in this household. Here's the other one. Now we're getting serious. All right, that was enough crazy. Even though they are serious, that was enough crazy. We had an Orlando, this guy's in Orlando, that actually did this study. And he said that for a medium income household that cost, what, $70,000 3 years ago, is now costing $120,000. You have to have $120,000 a year income to be able to afford a medium priced home in the United States. I did the numbers myself. I figured how much you would have to make to be able to afford that. In 52 weeks, 1 year, working 40 hours a week, minus 2 weeks for vacation. That's 50 work hours a week. You have to make $60 an hour to be able to afford a median income home that would have cost you $70,000 3 years ago. Now that is building back better. That's where we've come to. But most people don't see it because they already own a home and they're not paying attention to what's going on in the housing market. It's going to crash, guys. It's absolutely going to crash. It's coming at us full steam, and that's what keeps this economy going, is the housing market. Rebecca's with us. All right. I'm glad you came in late because I said a couple of words you might not appreciate, and there's probably some more coming because I got a story here that's really pissing me off. But Rebecca, this one's for you. Yep, most homes in Orlando are $500,000 now or more. That's true. This house right here, what was paid for it? $169.
$158 12 years ago.
$158. It cost $158,000 12 years ago. Now it's up in the area of $450,000, $460,000.
Sold.
But if we sell it,
where do we go?
Yeah, where are we going to go? We're going to have to pay that price somewhere else. So it's absolutely ridiculous. And that's why a lot of folks don't realize what's going on in the housing market. They already have that mortgage. It's already locked in. They're not out looking for something. But at the same time, excuse me, guys, at the same time, this is raising the price of rent because people can't afford homes. They have to actually rent instead of buy. What does that do to the cost of an apartment? Shoots it up. It's that simple. This is building back better, guys. You make $60 an hour. You work 40 hours a week. You make $60 an hour. If not, maybe you work 2 jobs and you only make $30 an hour. But that's 80 hours a week you're working. That's what is happening to our country right now. That's why this can't continue to go on. And we're about to get into that. The largest bank in the United States, Morgan Stanley, has downgraded the U.S. dollar on the world market. from bullish, which means it's good, to neutral, which means it's kind of flexible. It could go either way. That's not good. Morgan Stanley sees the handwriting on the wall. And they actually said so a couple of days after that. They said the U.S. economy is like a frog in a pot of boiling water. It's slowly heating up. It's slowly building up to a crash. And nobody sees it because it's happening a little bit at a time. And I absolutely believe that. People say, well, when things start going bad, I'll start thinking about prepping. Things have been going bad for years now. And it didn't just start happening 3 years ago. America's been weak for 30 years. And it's all built up to this point. We're at a breaking point. That water's going to start boiling. And it's going to start cooking us. It's going to kill us. I got one friend that likes to say, well, excuse me, the dollar will always be good. No, it won't. You know, it'll always have value. But right now it's worth $1. You know, and 3 years from now it might be worth a dime. You pay $3 for a loaf of bread now. What's going to happen when it costs you $30 to buy a loaf of bread? How good is that dollar? That's what's coming, guys. But I'm not going to get off on that tonight. I'm going to concentrate more on, like I said, the communications thing tonight. I've told you before, and I'll say it here just real briefly. Start buying those precious metals, because that's the only thing that's going to hedge off the inflation that's coming. So let me move on off of that topic. But when you got the biggest bank in the United States saying the dollar's going to hell, the economy's going to collapse. Well, I mean, they didn't use those words, but that's what they're saying basically. You got to wake up, guys. It don't matter what this administration tells you. They tell you the economy's good, you know, inflation's at 3.4% or whatever. Bullshit, guys. It's just straight up bullshit. You're not going to be able to afford to live in 3 years if it keeps going the way it is right now. And I hate to tell you this, but one man getting elected president is not going to be able to stop all this. If he gets elected, I don't think they can let him get elected. And they'll do whatever it takes to stop him. I know I saw one video this week where one prepper channel said there were more votes cast in the 2020 election than there were voters. Nope, hadn't happened yet. Nope, that's not true. There was roughly 150 million votes cast, 152 million maybe. But there's 168 million registered voters in the United States. I checked the numbers. After I heard that, I checked the numbers to make sure. But it hadn't happened yet. However, it will probably happen this year. But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. That's simple. All right, now here's the one that really ticked me off. Really, really ticked me off. I saw this today about 2 o'clock. I've been monitoring the news channels to see if they were covering it. Fox kind of touched on it. Newsmax didn't say anything about it. And I didn't check One American News yet. But the Treasury Department asked the banks to monitor everybody. They said it started with the J6 investigation, and it spread out from there. They wanted them to monitor everybody that made purchases at gun retailers, or if they gave donations to charities with or campaigns or whatever with the name Trump or MAGA. That's what
Even
Fox
sporting
said.
goods.
Huh?
Even sporting goods stores.
Yeah, and sporting, of course, they're gun dealers. Except Dick's. Dick's is Dick's, so they don't sell guns anymore. But Even Fox News neglected to say that they wanted purchases of Bibles to be monitored. Even the Bible, if you bought a Bible and you charged it, you're a credit card company, or if you used a bank card, debit card, your bank reported you to the federal government for buying a Bible. Now, I have no doubt. Now, this was done by the Treasury Department because they're in charge of banks. It's that simple. But I have no doubt that it came down from the DOJ. Jim Jordan is the one that reported this today.
That's what Sun EP just said. Jim Jordan's all over it.
Yep. He hasn't actually completed his investigation. He's still looking into it. So hopefully they'll get to the bottom of it. But this is the direction our country is going. You think we're not, approaching the end of this country? Our economy is crap. Now you have our federal administration attacking people, actually monitoring people that want to practice their Second Amendment rights to buy a gun. They don't want them donating to whoever they want to donate to without being monitored. They don't want them buying a Bible without it being monitored. I got to say, pretty much, we're at the end of our rope. We're getting awful damn close, guys. There's a lot of people out there that think the end of America is going to signal end time, biblical end times. No, I'm not that, I'm not that arrogant. Just because our country fails don't mean the world's going to end. But our country is failing. And it's only going to get worse from here. It don't matter, what the coming election brings. It's going to be bad. All right. So let me get those two guys out of there. They both make me sick. And let's get on to the point. It's all coming to an end, and you need to be ready. It's that simple. So let's get on to what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk tonight about emergency communications. Not just your little mag, which I'm going to try to help you out with that. I got to get something out of here. Hang on. I got to move another graphic over. I only have so much space here, and then I have to move things around so I can add something. So let me get over here and add this in. Here we go, right there. I want to add that one in. Did it come over? Yeah, it came over. All right. What I want to talk to you, like I said, is about communications. There's the top 5 preps that you need to make sure you have. The first one is food, water. 2, shelter is 3. A way to defend those is 4. And the 5th one, and the 5th one is communications. You got to have some communications, guys. Thank you, baby.
That'll help.
You got to have some communications. If it's just a simple matter of listening to what's happening in the world around you when everything goes sideways, or if you want to actually get into being able to communicate. That's what we're here to talk about tonight. You got long distance communication, like I would like to have, because I have relatives in Tennessee. We're going to go over that in just a minute. And you're going to have communications with your mag, your group, right in your area. We're going to cover that too. But a couple of years ago, back when I was trying to have prepper meeting groups, Craig, that you see here in the chat, he brought over a little radio unit that he demonstrated for everybody. and it's in a little ammo can, just like the one that I use to make a repeater. It's in a little ammo can. It has a ham radio. It has a battery in it. You can, and that top section there, you can see it over on the left. It's that gray part. That's the battery. And it has a connection for an antenna. That's a 20 amp radio, just 20 amps. He hooked it up. He set up his antenna. And he talked to people in Louisiana from right here in Orlando. He talked to people in Louisiana. Me and him kind of went back and forth on this yesterday in a couple of text messages. And he told me that was just a 20 amp radio. That it was probably good for the southeastern United States, which I'm sure it is, because like I said, he talked to somebody in Louisiana. Right there, he just set it up, bang. Louisiana's a pretty good way from Orlando. So we figured the circumference, the area that would cover is probably about 650 to 700 miles. And as you can see, if I set up a system like that, and my relatives in Tennessee have one similar to that, we can converse and I can keep up with what they're doing. They can keep up with what I'm doing. But we would also be able to monitor everybody else in the country in that area. And that will receive from everywhere. That's just the area it would transmit to. That radio would receive from, wherever the atmosphere bounced that signal. And I would be able to monitor all kinds of communications from everywhere, basically from around the world. Now, I didn't put any links to any of these radios anywhere because I want you to go out and do the research yourself. But you can buy a radio that will do that for about $500, and you can buy an antenna to make it work for about $100. Just get out there and search out ham radios and antennas, and you'll be able to find those. If Craig's still here, I don't know if he is or not.
Can you click your old background? You're fuzzy to me. I don't know if you're fuzzy to them.
Oh, looks good here.
Okay. All right. Never mind.
But I can put the other one up if
I don't know if it's me or you. So
if that's what you need, we can do that. We'll just put that other one back up there. If that don't look right, there we go. But that little radio right there in an ammo box, talk to somebody in Louisiana. So if you just get you a good ham radio, there's Craig right there. Tell him what you got there, buddy. I know that system you put together was a little expensive, and there are cheaper options, but you guys need to get out and do your research if you want to communicate long distance. Now, me, like I said, I'd like to talk to my family in Tennessee, but they're kind of really like halfway on board with this prep and stuff. I don't think they would invest in that. So right now, I just want to hear what's going on out there all around the world. I want to hear what's going on. And I have the capability to do that with the radio I've shown you before several times, the Texan 660 shortwave radio. Jump out there and get you one of those. You'll be able to hear news broadcasts, weather, ham radios, pretty much everything that's out there. You'll be able to hear it. But now we're going to go local.
Craig said that radio is on Amazon for $4.90.
There you go. There it is, folks, right there. You can go out and buy that one, or you can buy something comparable. Like I said, I wasn't going to make any recommendations because I don't know your budget limitations. And the antenna I know is about $100. So there you go. We're going to set you up with long distance communication right there. Now, if you want to exceed that range of that radio, they have boosters. They have signal boosters you can buy to boost that signal up. And they cost probably between, $200 and $400. It all depends on what you want to do. But I couldn't tell you that. I could not post one of those because I don't think you're supposed to be able to do that. But I don't know. I'm just recommending the basics for you. because that's what's most affordable, and I think you absolutely should have these things. Welcome, Edith. I appreciate it. I know you're new. Thank you for being here with us. Did Pauline drop in? There she is. All right. Just as long as you made it, girl, I appreciate you being here. Now we're going to get local for your mag, for your group. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to recommend. This one, I'm telling you guys, you really need to get it. If you have a mutual assistance group, or whatever you want to call it, you need to get you some local communications. I'm going to recommend a GMRS radio and recommend that you have a handheld unit for each person in your group, because you're going to be sending those people out to do different things, to scavenge, to get water, to go on patrol, to hunt, or whatever. And you need to be in contact with those folks. Get you a good little base unit like that Redibus right there, and some of those Redibus walkie-talkies, GMRS, and you'll be set. And I think GMRS is actually better than a ham radio for your local group, because there are less people on GMRS channels. And you don't have to worry about programming them. The channels are already programmed in those radios when you buy them. If you go to channel 8 on your radio at home, in your base, then everybody out in the field can just go to click to channel 8, and there you are. You're all on. Nothing has to be programmed. Plus, it's a lot less expensive than the ham radio units. That little setup I just showed you, let me pop it up there again. $135 for that. It's a mobile unit, but you can use it as a base. It's $135, and for 6 handheld radios, it's $125. Now, you can go out there and search, and you can find others. That's why I'm not putting any actual brand recommendations here. But that's what you need. And if you're the base, you absolutely have to have these. Now, hopefully, each member of your group will buy a GMRS radio, and that burden's not solely on you. But you need to work that out, because you're absolutely going to have to stay in communications. The way things are happening right now at light speed with this country, an election year, it could get bad real quick, guys. So you need to start at least getting these in place, along with your food and water and your defense, okay? But a good example of this is, let's say right here, your base is right here, and you want to protect a 2-block area around your base. Okay, right off the bat, let me tell you, that's not a map of where I live.
Is this going to answer the question, how far does GMRS cover?
Well, GMRS with that 20 amp, 20 watt base unit and 5 watt handheld units. I'm talking here in Florida now. Okay, they're going to work out pretty good, maybe a mile or 2 miles away from your base, because we got a good flat terrain here. Now, if you live in an area that has a lot of different elevation changes, you might want to consider building a repeater. I also have a video covering that if you go on my channel and check it out. And a way to power that repeater. I actually posted that one this past week. You can put a little solar power pack on that repeater, and it'll keep it charged up practically forever. It's easy to do. It's just plug and go.
Craig says the GMRS is FM based. It's better than a CB, which is AM based.
There you go. Whatever Craig said, that's my communications mentor right there, guys. That guy right there is the one I go to whenever I have any communication questions. He's the one that built that little box unit I showed you earlier. But right here, like I was saying, if you want to protect like a 2-block area around your base, you got to be in contact with all of these people. You got point 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Or if you just have a couple of guys on patrol around that area, you have to be in communication with those folks. It's vital. But going out from there, expanding from there. All right, you see right here on the right, your base is right there on the right. and you have all of these different areas around that you want to access. You got a wildlife area where you're going to be doing your hunting. You got areas where you're going to collect water. You got areas where, say, before shit hit the fan, they were commercial areas. You're going to be wanting to at least do some scavenging around there. And you have to be in contact with these people. And you need a map like this one right here. You need a map of your area. You need to designate those areas with different names. And you're going to actually have to come up with codes for that. Because GMSR channels, even though there's fewer people on those channels, they are still out there in the air and people can pick them up. So you're going to have to come up with a 10 code for your people about what they're doing. And don't use a standard police or military 10 codes. It's too easy right now to just go find those on the internet, print them off, and people will know what you're doing. You don't want that. Come up with your own 10 code. Come up with your own designation for those important areas around you. The wilderness area where you got people hunting. The areas where you got people going to get water. You want code names for those. It all has to be coded, because when you push that button and you put it in the air, somebody might be able to listen to that. And you don't want them to know where you're going or what you're doing. So, I'm going to post this one right here one more time for your base unit. Get your little GMRS mobile unit with a 12-volt power pack to power it, and an antenna that, like I said, you can buy this whole package right here for $325, $350. And you're in communication with 6 of your people at all times. And you're going to have them out there. If you don't, you're asking for trouble, guys. Make sure you're working on your comms. Like this last week when, the whole world's in a deep freeze. Hopefully you learned a few things. If there's shortcomings in your preps, you don't want to get to the point to where you need communications and you don't have it, because it is vital. Right up there with your food and your water and your protection. If I didn't get anything else across tonight, hopefully I get that across to you. It's not that expensive. It's easy to do. I'm a redneck. If I can learn to do it, anybody can. It's that simple. If you got any questions, shoot them to me. Right there's my email address, theorlandoprepper@gmail.com. If I don't have an answer, I know a guy that does. You just been conversing with him right here. So with that, I'm going to get out of here, guys.
Read Craig's last comment there.
What's he got there? If you have a base unit with 20 watts at each home and base with elevated antenna, you could easily reach 10 to 20 miles. If he said it, I believe it. This man's on top of it, guys. Me and him been talking on the radio this week, and we've been shooting texts back and forth to each other. I needed his help preparing this, and he was happy to help me out. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your help. I truly do. But I'm going to get out of here, folks. I've taken up more time than I ever imagined I would. Hopefully I got something out there that'll help you out. Hopefully I informed you about a thing or two you might not have known about, but now you do. So with that, I'm going to say stay strong, keep prepping, and pray for the United States of America. I love you all. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next week.